Welcome back to the Dynasty Citadel. Today we will be going over the top veteran running backs to target. And it kind of seems pretty simple when you truly think about it, whether you're in redraft or dynasty. But these are people due to their age that people tend to just think lesser than. And I honestly think, especially for contenders, you need to target these people. Um, let's start off with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is going to be 31 years old. But Derrick Henry just rushed for 1,900 yards. Even in a down year, let's just say he runs for 1,300 yards, he's probably still going to give you anywhere from 10 to 15 touchdowns. That's still going to be an RB1 season. So somebody like him is Derrick Henry. The problem, somebody like Derrick Henry, you have Lamar Jackson on this team as well. And he's currently in Dynasty being valued around about RB18. And I know that one injury and Derrick Henry's value could plummet to in the 20s, late 20s and 30s. But with the approach right now, especially if you're a win now team, I would advise you to check in and look to see what you can get. Because if people are trading seconds for Derrick Henry, go ahead and take the value. Because what's going to happen midpoint during the season, you're going to realize how good Derrick Henry is yet again, and then you're going to have to trade your first for Derrick Henry. So go ahead, be proactive, trade that second round pick. If people are biting for that, go ahead and get it. It's going to make a difference in the long run. The thing is, with Lamar Jackson there, he's going to open up running lanes for Derrick Henry. It's just going to be natural because the defense, you're going to have to pick your poison. If you try to stop Derrick Henry, then Lamar Jackson can break loose. Lamar Jackson's gotten better as a passer, which helps not stack the box as much either. So Derrick Henry, that would be my first person on the list. Getting right into the next person, Alvin Kamara. So Alvin Kamara, I believe he is going to be 30 if he isn't 30 already. But he is a PPR machine. Now, the thing with Alvin Kamara is it seems the past couple of years during the fantasy playoffs, he has been non-existent every year. But if you can get up to that point, you just need, if he could get healthy, and I know it's a big if he could be healthy just for that point in time, you're getting anywhere from, I would say, 15 to 20 points a game. Last year, let's see, he led all running backs in target share, finished second in receptions with 68, and averaged 38 receiving yards a game. And PPR, that's huge, especially with his rushing upside too. He's going to do both. That's what makes him a little bit different than even somebody like Derrick Henry. Just knowing that he can catch the ball. The injuries, that's what's knocking him down as well. He's in that RB2 range. And again, this just similar to Derrick Henry. This is someone, if you can trade a second, I would even say a higher second round pick for, especially for contending teams. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and get an RB1 on your team. And because midseason, he's going to have a great season again in 2025. You have a new offense with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore has shown to have a high tempo offense with the Chargers, last year with the Eagles. It was hyper-focused in the Saquon. Now, Kamara is not the same rusher as Saquon, but I'm pretty sure Kellen Moore is going to scheme something up where it emphasizes Kamara's skills and his skill set. So, Kamara is another person that you definitely should be targeting. James Conner. He gets overlooked. People say his durability, but he has been fairly healthy these past two seasons. I know last year he missed week 18, but we play fantasy, and that doesn't matter to us. He's going to consistently give you RB2 production. As long as he's healthy, he's going to be fine. Right now, if I had to take a guess, his ADP is probably in the 20s in most sites. And if you can get, again, here's another guy. If you could trade, if somebody has consecutive RB2 weeks, they're going to probably be an RB1 on the season. Because I want to say in PPR, he finishes RB11 overall. So He's going to be handling majority of the work in the backfield. I know they just signed him to an extension last year. They do have Trey Benson. Not sure if they're going to really use him or not that much. I know he's just a backup right now. It took Trey Benson actually a little while to actually take over that second spot for the running back last year. So that's going to be interesting with him. And then near the goal line, you already know James Conner they're going to give him the ball. It's either going to be him or they're going to do a sort of a draw play for Kyler. One or the other. But in the red zone, that's where James Conner is going to get a lot of his work. He can catch the ball as well, so that actually does help quite a bit. And he's Arizona's lead back, so this is somebody you should target. Now, switching gears, let's go to wide receivers. Tyreek Hill. There's been rumors about Tyreek Hill being moved this offseason. I don't think that should scare anybody, to be honest with you. If he stays with the Dolphins, I think he's a good pickup. He has fallen quite a bit in his ADP. I believe he's around wide receiver 14 now. And he could be poised for a bounce-back campaign, to be honest with you. You have Tua. It really does matter on Tua's health. But if Tua is healthy, Tyreek's production is historically great with Tua. We just need Tua to stay healthy with a quarterback and slide. That's all we need him to do. But I think Tyreek can be really good next year, and is somebody who's falling down because he was just wide receiver 1 last year. And I know he's 30, he might be turning 31 here soon. But this is somebody that we can see getting back to that wide receiver 1 status quite easily. All he just needs is a quarterback. Last year he was playing with primarily backups. Yeah, he just needs actual quarterback. He had 81 receptions for 959 yards. Definitely a down year for Tyreek. I believe when I looked it up, it was since 2019 he didn't have a season like that. And in 2019 he was injured. So I think it's going to be a bounce-back year for him. People are talking about his speed falling off. I want to say he still ran 22 miles per hour. So if that's falling off, you know what? He's still faster than most of the league. So I wouldn't have to worry about that. But it could be an opportunity for you to get somebody like Tyreek at a discount. And then he has potential for wide receiver 1 upside. So if anybody's, I guess maybe I should name this wide receiver second round pick values, because if anybody offers a second round pick for Tyreek, which I don't see that happen, you go ahead and take it. But I would be willing to move Tyreek for even a 111, 112 pick. Yeah, potentially higher depending on what my team looks like. But Tyreek could be a missing piece to your offense, especially for contenders. Chris Godwin. So Chris Godwin was the wide receiver 2 before he got hurt last year. I would say first 7 weeks, had 50 passes or caught 50 passes for 576 yards, 5 touchdowns. And so he dislocated his ankle, if I remember correctly. But he's still with Mike Evans. Right now, he has fallen to that wide receiver 30 to 35 range. Easy buy. He offers league-winning upside because if he's going to be valued as a wide receiver 3, I doubt you can trade a third or 2/3 for him. But if you can, definitely do it. I would trade a mid-second for him. I would trade potentially a higher second for him. Because what people fail to realize sometimes, these picks are potential based. Well, if I'm a veteran team, why bank on potential when I can go ahead and get a player I know has, upside in Chris Godwin, who plays well with Baker Mayfield? I know that. I'm saying he was wide receiver 2 with Mike Evans in the offense. Godwin, I believe, is 29 or will be 29. Mike Evans is 32, so he's starting to get up there. But Mike Evans, we know, is going to have another 1,000-yard season as long as he's with Tampa Bay. But Chris Godwin, as long as he's healthy, he's primed to have at least a 1,000-yard season. Could have 80-plus catches as well. So Chris Godwin, definitely a buy, especially in Dynasty. Now, another one a little bit lower on the list, but not necessarily on the point side, is Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers has put up wide receiver 2 numbers in 3 consecutive seasons. I would say last year he played with Devontae Adams before he got moved. He played with Brock Bowers, but still put up numbers. His target share was 23.5%, had 87 catches, 1,027 yards, and now he has Geno Smith. Now, the question will be, do the Raiders draft someone like a Ted McMillan? Because they have the number 6 pick in the draft. And then other than that, there's no other wide receiver that I guess you need to be worried about for the mass rankings. Now, me personally, I do think somebody like Jaden Higgins could take over a role there, but let's just say I doubt Jaden Higgins goes there. If they take, because Genty's projected to go 6, so I doubt, and they probably need a lot more help other places. But the Raiders have Geno now. Chip Kelly's running the offense. Chip Kelly has fast-paced schemes in his offense, so we could see Myers get even more opportunity. Right now, his ADP is in the 40s. So if you could trade a third and get him, go ahead and get him, because he has top 20 upside. He's been doing it for the past 3 years. It's like he's under the radar and people aren't paying attention. Go ahead and get him. I'll say he's a consistent wide receiver. He's valued as a wide receiver 3. He's really, in real life, when you look at the stats, a wide receiver 2. He's a wide receiver 2 every year. Go ahead and get him if you can get him for wide receiver 3 prices. The only tight end I have on the list right now is Evan Ingram. I was surprised when I saw Evan Ingram where he's ranked. He's ranked as tight end 9, to be honest with you, right now. And this was before he even was traded. And this is a steal. We know what Ingram can do, and this was before he joined the Broncos. He had, 100 catch season, 1,000+ yards. And now he's with Sean Payton in the Broncos offense. And we know Sean Payton likes to use his tight ends. Everybody talks about this joker role, so I'm not sure if Evan Ingram will necessarily be in that role. But I think he could be their de facto wide receiver 2, depending on who they get in the draft. But I believe he'll be right behind Courtland Sutton as far as targets, as far as catches and receiving yards. So in 2023, when he went crazy in fantasy, he was tight end 4. And he had basically a 24% target share. So he could emerge as the top target for Bo Nix. If he has 80 catches, 800 yards, if you play in a tight end premium, this is a great buy to get. And this is somebody I'm looking to target across leagues. So these are the veterans I'm looking at and how to value them. I'll make other videos on rookies. I'll continue to talk more in the off season. But somebody like Derrick Henry, Kamara, even Tyreek are people that can win you championships. And you need to be able to see if you can get them now for the low. I know everybody's in rookie pick mode. Everybody values their picks so highly. So if you can get players like this, especially if you have a veteran team, go ahead and make those calls, make those DMs, see if you can get these players. But that's all I have today. And these are the veterans you should be targeting in this 2025 offseason. All right.